So here's my XSR900. So I'm around 2,000 miles, maybe a little bit over, just maybe 2,100 miles maybe. So anyways, I'm pretty much done with the rear tire here. And you can still see a little bit of chicken strip. I have probably like a 1/4 inch or so chicken strip, which is fine by me. This bike is a lot of bike for the street. You don't necessarily want to ride that that hard on the street. So I'm actually gonna be taking off the back wheel. So this is video on that. So the other side, if you have this bike, you know there's nothing on the other side. This nut right here is a 27 millimeter. And actually, even before I gonna take this off, actually I checked my chain slack, and my chain slack was still good. So basically, the tensioner here and on the other side, it's fine. So I'm not gonna touch these. So hopefully, I don't have to touch these. And I actually like this, how Yamaha designed it, so that way it's the tensioner is actually in the front instead of the back. Usually, when it's in the back, lots of times you might have to adjust it just to take off your wheel. So hopefully, this one doesn't have to do that. So let's see. So I'm using a socket wrench. Hopefully, I have enough leverage. 1/2 inch drive. Wow, that's hard. Ooh, okay. So anyway, so this is a 1 footer. So I have one that's a little bit longer, maybe another inch or so. Let's see if I have more leverage on that one. Okay. And, I'm a light guy, so I'm not necessarily the strongest guy. Oh, I heard the brake loose. That was the socket wrench, not the nut. Yes, definitely the nut. Oof. Man, that's tight. It's really tight. I have no idea what the spec is for this. I'm guessing it's gonna be, judging by the size of this, it's probably supposed to be, I would say, 80 foot-pounds maybe. That's pretty common, 80 foot-pounds, maybe as much as 100. Ooh, man, that took all my weight and all my strength right there. So this nut here is a locking nut. There's different types of locking nuts. The most common one we're probably aware of is the nylon type. This one is this nut here it has a little, instead of nylon, because the thing is the nylon type, it's supposed to, once you put it on there and take it off, the nylon basically when you put it on the first time you use it, it will kind of take up that space and it holds there. But once you take it off and then you try to put it back on, the nylon sort of already has a shape, and it doesn't, you really, you're not supposed to really use it again. You're supposed to use another nut. So this type of locking nut, it has like this little tiny little shim almost, but basically this little flap here on two sides. It basically that kind of bites into the thread and it locks that way. So this type is reusable. So so that's the nut, little washer, and that should be about it. So when you take this off, the biggest consideration you have to be careful of, I would say, is probably your ABS sensor here. You can actually see it sticking out over here, right on this side over here. So be careful of this, of not damaging this this thing. Otherwise, you're gonna have some error light coming up, ABS light or traction control light or something like that coming up, saying something's wrong. All right, so so that's off. Now you just need to take off the axle. So how I do this at home, obviously I have it on I'm on a stand here. But how I do this is what I like to do is I like to stick my feet underneath here, and this actually helps me take the weight off the wheel as I push on the axle here. Right. See that? See how my feet's pushing that up? So basically I take off the weight off the axle, so it slides right off. So be aware where this thing is. So this spacer here, washer sort of, the white end is where the the tensioners. All right, so be aware of that. I'm gonna slide my axle out, and on the other side, the same thing. The wide end, so basically it goes in like this, and see how the outside of the axle, it sits like that. So that's what holds this holds the axle from spinning when you take the nut off. All right, so that's off. So I still have my feet underneath the tire. That's why it didn't just drop. So now I basically have to move the chain out of the way. So let's go over to this side. So this is the dirty part right here. You have to basically move this chain off the rings and just sort of let it sit to one side like that. All right, so that way it clears the chain ring. All right, let's go back to the other side. Again, remember the sensor here. Be careful of that. Don't damage that. So now I'm gonna basically just kind of let the wheel go back a little bit and kind of down. Be mindful of the sensor right here. I mean, it's literally like right there, just like a millimeter or so for the sensor. So don't damage that. Okay. So my feet's actually off now. Now I'm actually kneeling. So the tire is on the ground now. So right now it's touching the so the tire's on the ground, and it's right here. It's being hung up right here. So now you have to either move this a little bit out of the way, and move your wheel sort of like that out of the way. Hopefully I could get this on video. Hopefully you see how this is taken off. So actually, let me just move that off. That clears it completely. So what you just heard was this spacer right here just fell off. So this is one of the spacers, the wheel spacers here, that fell off, right? So it was like that. So this is wheel spacer on this side, and actually, you know what? This wheel spacer is actually not on this side. This wheel spacer is actually on the other side. So let me spin this around. It's actually on this side. It's actually right here. So it's actually right here where this goes. So that's the big wheel spacer, right? And this side it has its own wheel spacer. So this is a small. This is also wheel spacer here. This is a small one. All right. So that's it. Let's take off the wheel. Actually, let's look at the. Let's set this aside here. Let's look at the. Oops. Let's do that. So at the brake setup over here. All right. So let's look at this. How the brake is held in place is, it's obviously by the axle right here, right? But there's also a little tab. See where this little tab right here on the frame? So there's that tab, and that tab actually slides into this groove here, this long groove here, where my tip of my finger is. So that basically sits in there like that, like so, and that way this thing could slide with the axle back and forth. So that's it. That's taking off the rear wheel. So it's pretty easy actually. This is one of the easiest bikes I've ever had to take off the rear wheel on. And this is my first Yamaha. I've always had Hondas, and so this is my first Yamaha. And I've also had one other non-Honda, which was a Kawasaki. Before this bike, I had a Kawasaki, but all my other bikes has always been Hondas. So Hondas are, I don't know, I think more of a pain in the butt, just because the tensioner is usually on the back side. That makes it more of a pain in the butt. But I like this, how this is designed on Yamaha. All right, so thanks for watching.